To get to the knock sensor wiring harness, I'm going to have to take off some things. So first thing I'm going to do is just take the negative battery cable off the battery. Okay, now I want to take off this connector here. This is the math sensor. This hose right here, and this connector right here. These are right behind the air filter cover. Finally, the hose right here. Now, to get the air filter cover off, there's a few things we need to do before we can lift it off. There's 2 bolts, one on each side. There's one here. I actually took that out. You don't have to take them out. They're number 10 millimeter. The other one I just loosened right there, and you can see that the cover will lift now. But to get the cover completely off, we're going to have to remove this boot here. And so with the clamp there, I'm going to it's number 10 as well, so I'm going to take my socket and loosen that up. And then there's some hoses here. There's 4 hoses on this side. You may want to mark them. There's one on the front, and then there's one on the top. There's the middle, and then there's the bottom hose right there. So those need to be removed. There may be some vacuum release once you do that. You can hear that. Okay, so with my number 10, go ahead and loosen this hose even more. And I already have this one loosened, so we should be able to lift the cover off. Actually, we'll be lifting it up and away to get it away from the boot there. And I don't think there's anything else connected to it. There's some resistance here. I guess it's because I'm just not lifting it up far enough. So that's off, so we can take the air filter out. Okay, next there are 3 bolts down here on the tray. We need to remove the tray here. I think it's going to be easier if we remove this breather box here, so that we'll have more room to get the tray out. And to remove this, I just need to move the hose out of the way that's clipped on it. It's clipped on in 2 places, one in the back and the front there. Now this is the breather box that goes to the throttle body here, and it has a boot on this side of it, just like the boot here. It's a 10 millimeter. We can loosen that up. And then the hose here will need to be removed, or that maybe we can just push it out of the way. So let me go ahead and get a 10 millimeter on this. Okay, I think it's going to be easier just to go ahead and take this boot off right here at the throttle body. So we'll loosen it up. we'll loosen the 10 millimeter up on this end here. Okay, again we have this hose here. You may be able to just lay it out of the way. Yeah, that'll be fine, just like that. So let's get these 3 bolts out here. Remove this. Loosen it. So to get this bottom part of the air filter off. There's a tab right here. Push that. Dislodge the intake area here from this piece, and then on the back side here there's a wiring harness that is connected to this bottom piece here. I just want to remove that from the support there. Okay, and we should be able to get it out. So we're gonna really didn't want to go there, but there we go. Okay, I can put this back in place because the wiring harness for the knock sensor is over here underneath the throttle plate here, and this wire right here, and where you see those zip ties, that's where it's connected. I'm having to hold back these hoses here. Right here is actually where the connection is at. So I'm going to have to remove those zip ties there to get to it a little bit easier. Alright, so I just snapped this zip tie with my wire cutters here. And this particular connector here is broken, so you can see that I kind of rigged it up here with some cross ties to hold it in place. So I'm going to have to cut that now, and then we can separate the two and take a look at both ends. Okay, so you can see the connector here. I'm trying to get as close up as I can here. I've got my wire cutters on the zip tie here. Okay. So here we are now disconnected. We've got the end here that goes to the knock sensors, and just a close inspection of this looks like it's in good shape. So this is the harness that goes underneath the manifold and connects to the 2 knock sensors, which are screwed into the engine block. One reason you may want to get to this connector here and take a look at it is just to make sure before you take everything apart. If you're having, say, a knock sensor code, you may want to inspect the wiring harness first, the connector. Here's the other end that it connects to that goes to the ECU. This looks pretty good as far as I can tell. You may want to do a test with your multimeter. Yeah, mine was broken. The little tab was broken off on here. That's why I had the zip ties there. Everything looks good here so far. I'll take a closer inspection a little bit later here. Yeah, you'd want to probably want to take a look at that before you start taking everything, pull them off and take the manifold off. Before you replace the knock sensor, just make sure the wiring is good there. Another reason would be if you wanted to relocate the knock sensors, and that would entail just getting a new wiring harness and just connecting it here to the ECU wire, and then just rerouting the other end with the knock sensor somewhere else, on the engine. If you wanted to do that, I would not advise that if you have a very good car that you really like, because you really need the knock sensors to keep the ignition timing working properly. That's what they're for, in case there's any kind of tapping or detonation. That the sensors will send that to the computer, and then the computer will adjust the ignition timing for that if there's a problem. So if you continue to run with bad knock sensors and don't do anything at all, you could damage your engine, and it probably is not going to drive very good either. There may be stalling, bad response time, shifting problems, something like that. So anyway, I guess that'll be it. Just how to get to the wiring harness for the knock sensor and the connection there. And so putting everything back is just in reverse of how you took it apart. So thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and take care.